Fulham 1, Manchester United 2. We back on top and we're gonna win this league.
Ronaldo! It's one of the great Old Trafford comebacks. Astonishing!
I don't want to hear anything about Paul Pogba. He is our best player. From the time his agent came out and said all that nonsense, Paul Pogba has come out after that and performed world class.
If you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel right now so you can see more content of this quality.
He has been our best player from December up until now, consistently performing. I don't want to hear anything about it. He is our superstar and is currently playing like that. You saw his goal today. You saw that goal. He dribbled past one defender and then he hit the ball with his weaker foot, with his left foot. He hit the ball and he scored an outrageous goal. And he is scoring goals when the whole team is performing poorly, when the whole team cannot get it, looks like they've got no answer. Paul Pogba is stepping up and providing that answer. And that's what we wanted from him. Because big players perform in big games, in big moments. When the whole team is not performing, the superstar needs to take the team and carry the team on his back. And that's what Paul Pogba has been doing for us these past couple of weeks. Because the truth of the matter is, we did not perform well now against Fulham. We did not. In fact, Fulham performed well. Fulham nullified us, and on the counter-attack, they looked extremely dangerous. And our defense today just looked shambolic. Every time Fulham attacked us, I thought, wait a minute, they can score here. Eric Bailly, we were praising Eric Bailly for being outstanding. This was a poor game from Eric Bailly. Very, very poor. Partially at fault for the goal. Poor game. Harry Maguire as well. We were praising Harry Maguire as well for being stable at least, but performing good. And this was a poor game from Harry Maguire as well. He was, for me, the goal that we conceded against Fulham, the first goal of the game, for me it was fully Harry Maguire's fault. He was out of position. He was there standing and holding hands with Luke Shaw. Why is he there by Luke Shaw? He was out of position. The Fulham player literally ran where Harry Maguire was supposed to stand. So first and foremost, Harry Maguire was at fault. Then Eric Bailly, because Eric Bailly is supposed to see that Harry Maguire is out of position. So as I'm saying, Harry Maguire, it was a poor game from him as well, because he's an 80 million defender. He's our captain. He's supposed to be orchestrating not just the whole team, but mainly the defense, because he's a defender and he's one of our most experienced ones and he's the most expensive. But he's not doing that. The defense was shambolic today. Every time Fulham attacked, it almost felt like they could score. I saw Harry Maguire getting nutmeg from Ruben Loftus-Cheek, you know. So one thing about Maguire is that his positioning is poor, and we've seen it this season. In fact, from last season, but it's really been highlighted this season. We've seen it positionally. He's so poor. His positional awareness is poor. Luke Shaw's positional awareness is poor, and Wan-Bissaka's positional awareness is poor. The only centre backs that got good positioning is probably Victor Lindelof. Victor Lindelof, very, very rarely will you catch him out of position. You do, but very rarely compared to the other defenders. So, as I'm saying, we paid 80 million for Maguire and he's still making mistakes. And then going forward, when we have corners, Maguire gets on the end of most of our corners. Most of the corners, when the United player is hitting the ball from the corner, it's Harry Maguire. Yet all of them are off target. All of them are not troubling the keeper. Why is that? We need to rectify that, because if we can turn some of those headers into goals, it can benefit us. So that's something that Ollie needs to take onto the training ground and help Maguire and perfect that part of it, because he is getting there. It's not like he's not getting the header. When he's not getting the header, then it's a problem. But he is getting the header because he's so tall and so big. So he needs to convert that now into goals, or at least big chances. At least. That's something they need to work on. So this game against Fulham, we did not perform well. And it's been like that for the last couple of weeks. And that's why I have my hesitations on whether you or not United can win the league. If you ask me, I'm still going to be pragmatic about it, and I'm still going to be cautious, and I'm going to tell you that I think Manchester City will win the league. Leicester City is looking good. Leicester City got one of the best managers in the league. Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola, and then it's Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers is a world-class manager. The job he's doing with Leicester, let's not forget, guys, last season, before the pandemic, Leicester were where? Third, fourth. They only dropped because we came back after lockdown, and then momentum went with them. But right now you can see momentum's with them, the season is flowing, and look how good is Leicester. And the job that Brendan Rodgers is doing with that Leicester team, they don't have top quality players. The best player they have is Jamie Vardy. Everybody else is just average players and good players. They don't have no top class players. And look at the job that Brendan Rodgers is doing with the money that he spent. Brendan Rodgers is one of the best managers in the league. However, that Leicester team, I will not tip them to win the title because it's their players. It's not Brendan Rodgers. He's good enough. He's proven he's good enough. But the players, they don't have the caliber of player to come up against a Manchester United and a Manchester City and beat them to the title. So if you're asking me, I still tip Manchester City to win the title. They've got the manager, they've got the players to win the title. If it's not them, then maybe Liverpool can come from somewhere, because Liverpool are still a world-class team. They're just struggling at the moment because of injuries. But I don't think United can win it, because look at the games look how we're performing, guys. Over the last three weeks, these Premier League games, the last maybe 3-4 Premier League games, we've been struggling. We're not performing well. We're getting bailed out by individual brilliance. Paul Pogba and another player will step up. You know, Paul Pogba created that opportunity by himself. You can't even give an assist to anyone. Whoever passed him the ball, that is not an assist. That is a pass. And Paul Pogba took the ball, dribbled past one defender, and still hit the ball with his left on the edge of the box, beat the keeper. But that's individual brilliance. So what I'm saying is that's what's alarming for me, guys, because you can't continue like this for the whole season and expect you can win a title. This is not how you win titles. Yes, there comes a point in the title race where you have to grind out results. I fully agree with that. But that's on the end of the season. That's towards the end of the season. The last maybe 5 games. The last maybe maximum 7 games. But I say the last 5 games where you're grinding out results. You know, those 1-0s. Those stubborn 1-0s and those 2-1s and those scoring in the 90th minute and the 85th minute. That's your last 5 to 7 games. But not right now. We're on the halfway mark of the season. And we are grinding out results and we are struggling. And it's not one game. If it's one game, you say, okay, fair enough, you know. Every team has that where one game they're just not at it, or on that day they was in a very good disciplined team. It's not one game. It's been happening repetitively, and we can't turn a blind eye to it. We can't. We have to face this and say that we are not performing well and something needs to change. Something needs to change, because players are not going to bail us out every game. You're going to come up against a very, very good team like a Liverpool, like a Manchester City, where that's not going to work. In order to beat those teams, you need a system. So we have to improve in that respect. I would love us to win the league. I would want nothing less than us winning the league. But I can't see it at the moment. I can only see Manchester City winning it. But be it as it may, I'm happy for the 3 points. We needed this 3 points. We go back to first place, but again we need to be careful, because Manchester City got a game in hand. Should they win their game in hand, they go first by 1 point ahead of us. So we have to be careful. We have to hope that they can drop points, but from our side we just need to continue getting the W's. That's all. Continue getting those 3 points, those W's. That's the only thing that we can do. And play Paul Pogba in his best position. Today you did not see him in his best position. Today he played a very disciplined game. He was playing as a CDM. That's not Paul Pogba. Paul is not a CDM. Paul is a number 8. You need to give him freedom. When you give him freedom, as you saw in his goal, playing on the edge of the box, he scores goals. Get him in the box, he's a threat air. In the air, he can win headers. That's what our manager needs to do. And if we can play Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes in advanced positions, then we can have a shot at that title. We can have a shot. But the thing is, Oli doesn't do that. Oli always plays with two holding midfielders. Reverse Fulham, and Oli's playing with two holding midfielders. And another thing is in-game management of our manager. It's not good enough. We needed substitutions earlier. I saw the players struggling, tired on the pitch. Fred, I saw him tired. I saw the players blowing heavy. They were tired, some of them. Our manager waited till what, the 80-something minutes to make a change. Are you serious? You need to make a change earlier. And when you look at the context of the game, you always saw that Fulham were in the game. Fulham were in the game. At 1-1, they were in the game. Even at 2-1, they were still in the game. We needed to bring on someone like Donny van der Beek or Juan Mata. What those players give you, they keep the ball for you. They keep the ball. Take off Mason Greenwood, who was a player that he did not have a good game. He is really struggling. He is really struggling. Mason Greenwood, the only thing he wants to do is shoot. He doesn't want to pass. He doesn't want to cross. He doesn't want to run with the ball and beat defenders. He only wants to get to a position where he can shoot. And you can't only do that. You have to have the full game in your locker room. You have to be a full football player, because you're not going to be able to shoot every game. And that's what the people are doing now. They're not giving him opportunities to shoot, and they're nullifying Mason Greenwood's whole game. He needs to mature in the way he plays football. He has to. And he performed poorly. He performed poorly amongst a couple other players. He performed poorly. So Ole should have taken him off earlier. Bring on a Juan Mata or a Donny van der Beek, a player that's going to keep the ball for us. Ole did not do that. His substitutions came late, and his substitutions were Scott McTominay, which I can understand that, and then Marcus Rashford. I can't completely understand that, because why are you bringing in Marcus Rashford when we need to keep the ball? We need to keep the ball. We need to take control of the ball and of the game. We need to have possession. We've got two players there that are excellent in keeping the ball. Juan Mata, Donny van der Beek. If he had brought them on with Paul Pogba, with Bruno, we weren't going to give Fulham much of the ball. That's what we needed to do. Our manager did not do that. Our manager waited till like 80-something minutes to bring on substitutes. And that's the story. But we won. We won. I don't want to be over negative. I just want to open your eyes, and I just want to show you that we have to improve in these certain areas. We can't just say, okay, we won, and turn a blind eye on all the area, our weaknesses. Because if you turn a blind eye to your weakness, sooner or later it will come before you, and it's going to bite you. It is going to bite you. So we can't turn a blind eye. We have to. These are the areas that we need to correct, and correct those areas. We have to hope that Oli watches the game back and has the capacity to understand what he's watching. We have to hope for that. So yeah, let me do a player ratings. I think David De Gea, when he was called upon, he done well. There was some wayward kicks that he performed. When the ball is at his feet, he's not at his best. But I think I'll give him a 7, because when he was called upon, he did make some good saves. A 7. Wan-Bissaka was extremely poor. Wan-Bissaka was extremely poor, and the reason Wan-Bissaka was poor is because he's not a good footballer. He's a good defender, one-on-one defender, but he's not a good footballer. And whenever we play the smaller teams, because the onus is on us to attack, and because the smaller teams give us the ball, that's where you see Wan-Bissaka's vulnerability. Defending against a Liverpool, against a Manchester City, Wan-Bissaka will perform world class because he loves to defend one-on-one. But when it's time for him to go forward, he's extremely poor. And he performed poorly this game. He was giving away passes in the first half. He was also at fault by playing that guy onside for the first goal. So he was just poor. I'm going to give him a 4. He was really poor. Really poor. 4. Eric Bailly also, as I said, wants his best game as he had in the last couple of weeks. I'm going to give him a 5. Harry Maguire as well, I'm going to give him a 5. Luke Shaw, I give him a 6. He was better than them. But he wasn't amazing as well. I saw Luke Shaw get 2 nutmegs in the space of 1 minute. 2 nutmegs. And going forward, he doesn't offer us anything. I mean, guys, please tell me, why is Luke Shaw on corners Bruno Fernandes is a set piece specialist. Why is Luke Shaw on corners? He's taking corner every single corner. Why is he on corners? Then when it's time for him to cross the ball, he can't beat the first man. It's always a deflection. He's not good enough going forward. He's not. He's got the ability, but it's just he doesn't want to do it. You can see he doesn't want to do it, and you can see our manager is not putting pressure on him to do it. So Luke Shaw is 6. He was better than them, but he also wasn't very good. Luke Shaw is 6. Fred, I thought Fred had a good game. I thought Fred had a good game, especially for the first goal. The first goal, he won the ball back. He made that pass to Bruno. So I think I'll give Fred a 7. Can't give him a 6 like Luke Shaw. I think I'll give him a 7. Paul Pogba, man of the match. Man of the match for me, 8. I'd even want to go 9, but I'd want that performance, guys. I'll say an 8. 8, he got the winning goal, and I thought he was very good in possession of the ball. Never give the ball away too much. Made interceptions. I think he made like 9 ball recoveries or 9 interceptions, one of those things, but he performed good, and it was a disciplined performance from Paul Pogba. He was playing as a CDM next to Fred, so he did not have total freedom of going forward. It was a disciplined performance from Paul. When he got on the ball, he showed his quality, he showed his composure when he got on the ball. So I think for me it's an 8 from Paul. Can say 7, you can say 7, but he scored the goal. I'll give him an 8. Then on the left, Anthony Martial. It was a quiet performance from Martial. Quiet performance, you know. Once a good performance. There was moments where he was misplacing his passes, just playing on the edge. He's playing on the edge. He's not on form at the moment. He's not on form, and it's not looking good. So I'm gonna give Martial probably a 6. I give him a 6. Bruno Fernandes, I'm gonna give Bruno a 6 as well. It was a good performance from Bruno as well, but he did have a big role to play in the first goal. Just remember, just before the first goal, he hit the post. The ball ended up getting recycled, and he made the cross that the keeper obviously should have dealt with better, and the keeper hit it out to Cavani. So once an assist for Bruno, while Bruno did make the cross. Without that cross, we weren't scoring that first goal for Cavani. So because of that, I give Bruno a 6. But if it weren't for that, I would have given him a 5, because it was a good performance from Bruno, and Bruno has been performing like this over the last couple of weeks. Bruno, he's just dipped, but we can excuse that because Bruno has carried us. He has carried us last season, this season. He has carried us, so you can obviously expect a drop off, and you can accept it for Bruno. Mason Greenwood, I'll probably give Mason Greenwood a 5. He wasn't good. He wasn't good. A 5. As I said earlier, he needs to mature in his game. Edison Cavani a 7. Very good performance from Edison Cavani. Edison Cavani, it's a problem for Martial, guys, because Edison Cavani is about 33 years old. Anthony Martial is much younger than him, and Edison Cavani is doing better than Martial in the number 9 position. Edison Cavani got more Premier League goals than Anthony Martial and played less games than Martial. It's not good. It's not good for Anthony Martial that a 33-year-old striker is looking better than him. And Edison Cavani has still got his energy. And that's the thing that blows my mind. This guy, you see him running, you see him closing down, you see him pressing. His movements off the ball is so good. When he's on the ball, when he links the play, is so good. His passing is always accurate. He's a really very good. We know he's a world-class number 9. We know that. But obviously right now, at 33, the twilight of his career, obviously you can't really classify him as that anymore. I wouldn't. But I still think he's a very good striker. It's better than what we have. So yeah, 7 for him. And the substitutes came on too late for us even to give them a rating. Too late. For Oli, I give him a rating of 6. I give Oli a rating of 6. Would have given him higher, but I give him a 6 because how can he bring on the substitute so late? How can he do that? But yeah, our next game, guys, is Liverpool in the cup. We need to beat them. We need to beat them because I want to lift the trophy this season. I don't think we're gonna lift the Premier League. I would love to, but I don't think so. But any trophy we need to lift with this team. We've got a very good team. So I'm hoping we can beat Liverpool on the weekend, and it's progress from that cup. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe right now and smash the like on this video. I'll see you all.